For a moment yesterday, West Indies cricket fans were in great deed of anxiety as Papua New Guinea chipped away at our batting. Johnson Charles was the first to go out leg before first delivery. Then, just before the rain, the very fifth delivery of that same over, the Papua New Guinea seamer now got one to straighten and Pooran. The umpire did not raise his finger, but it had shown that the ball was crushing into leg stump. If Pooran was given out at that time, West Indies would have been 8 for 2. Pooran went on to make 27, which in the context of the game proved very valuable. Hello everyone and welcome to the show. It's a pleasure having you here this morning. I'm once again joined by our resident analyst, Basil Butcher Jr., and a new kid on the block, Jarrad. Jarrad is from Trinidad and he's also a YouTuber. Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Thanks for having me,
Sir Carlton. Good morning to your viewers. Good morning to Jared.
Yes, good morning to everyone. Good morning.
Yes, so West Indies won the toss and decided to bat first. Papua New Guinea made 136 for 8, with Boer made an even 50. When West Indies replied, as I said, they were struggling. Before Roston Chase 42 not out from 27 deliveries. Earlier, Brandon King had made 34. West Indies getting home by 5 wickets with 1 over to spare. Basil, what is your overview on this performance?
I think it was a shaky performance on a pitch that was giving some help to the bowlers, and typical for our West Indian batters. The minute they see a pitch that gives help to bowlers, we're at sea, and we saw some of that. I think at times, I don't know what. Maybe this is the new strategy, the way they want to play. They want to press the accelerator at full bore all the time, because some of the batting approach of Brandon King was bewildering to me. Why is he charging down the wicket like a wild bull when he's a free scorer looking to throw away his wicket? Same with Mr. Pooran. First ball, he comes in, swings like a wild bull. I don't know what all of this is about. Play cricket shots. You can be aggressive, but you don't have to be so wild.
Thank you very much, Jarrad. What was your view on this match?
I share the same sentiments with our colleague there. So, typical West Indies. We are chasing 136. What's the rush? Take your time, play your shots, control the game. You are in control. That is a decent score to chase. Take your time. But yes, it was nervy. But to me, I think it was a typical match on a World Cup stage. You get these kind of games. You get these nervy games against these associate teams. But most importantly, West Indies got over the line, but they need to straighten up, of course, against the other opponents coming up.
Thank you very much, Jarrad. Basil, Ravman Paul won the toss and chose to bowl. We played 6 bowlers. And when you look, Hussain bowled 3 overs for 9 runs. While on the other hand, Roston Chase bowled 4 overs for 26 runs. Now, on the face of it, 4 overs for 26 runs in a T20 match is brilliant. You'll take that any day. But 3 overs for 9 runs, 1 wicket is far more brilliant. Why Hussain didn't bowl out his overs?
I think one of the reasons Chase bowled out his 4, because, you know, the whole thing, left-handed batter, Chase is an off spinner, and there were some left-handed batters at the crease. So I think the captain viewed that matchup, so afforded Chase to bowl out his 4 overs. But yeah, I wonder why Hussein, because Hussein is a guy that bowls in the power play, and it was strange to see that he didn't bowl out his full quota. I heard the captain at the end of the game said, there were some things that they didn't do so well, that they're gonna straighten up. Maybe that's one of his tactics right there. Maybe in terms of Hussein, that is one of the things he was talking about. Thank you.
Gerard, is it a case that West Indies is planning to probably lengthen the batting, try to get Shimron Etmire into that batting lineup, and they are looking at Chase no longer as a sixth bowling option, but as the fifth bowling option? Do you think that this could be a scenario that West Indies is looking at?
Yes, I think it could be what they use to steady the ship, but the ship should not need as much steadying, as Chase needed to be once the top order does their job. But yes, I think that Chase is to come in there now and calm things down a bit and steady us over the line when we're in a bit of a precarious situation.
Basil, as you mentioned, you said that King was charging down. He made 34. Johnson Charles got a one ball delivery.
A one ball, yeah.
When someone got one ball, you hardly can really say anything about it. It happened to the best of us. But Basil Pooran really struggled. He really struggled. 27 from 27 deliveries. What is happening to Pooran when he's playing for the West Indies?
Pooran has been doing well for the West Indies. We are one of the things we need to acknowledge. The Papua New Guinea seamers up front were doing a good job on a pitch that was giving them a little bit of help. They exploited the conditions well. They bowl. I mean those deliveries to Pooran, and I think the biggest mistake in the match Papua New Guinea made was not going for the review. The captain made that was a big mistake, because it was beautiful bowling how he set up Pooran. He took him across his body a couple of balls and then brought the one back. Pooran was not ready for that ball because he probably didn't even know the guy had. I'm wondering if did he know this guy had this ability. And I think one of the things we must acknowledge regarding the bowling to our batters is Phil Simmons is a coach consultant with Papua New Guinea. Phil Simmons know all of our batters inside out. So those insights as to how to attack our batters coming from a Phil Simmons would have been very insightful for the bowlers. And I think the Papua New Guinea seamers up front exploited the conditions and bowled to the West Indies batters as if somebody told them this is how these guys play.
Yes, you're spot on, Basil. I think that you're so correct. I think that you could see the influence on Phil Simmons in that bowling display by the Papua New Guinea team. Gerard, what are your views? How much a part do you think that your fellow countrymen played in trying to topper the West Indies yesterday?
No, clearly you could see that the bowling was targeted, clinical. It was very, very clinical. And as our colleague just said, if the captain only went for that review, could have changed the color of the game, right? But yes, you could see that it was strategic, and kudos to them. Kudos to them. You have to use all their assets, and he was available, and they used that, and it bolstered their attack, and you could have seen it clearly. Yes, it was brilliant.
Okay. Basil, a lot of talk about Alzarri Joseph being too expensive. Now, in the last 13 T20 matches for the West Indies, Alzarri Joseph have gotten 21 wickets in 13 matches. That's brilliant. You're going to take that every day.
Yes.
And I'm not here saying that Alzarri should be dropped. Far from it. I would not drop him because I'm going to take those 21 wickets from 13 matches every time. Every time you offer me, I am going to take it.
Yeah.
But once again, yesterday, though, he was our most expensive bowlers going for 34 from his 4 overs, Basil. Do you go ahead, Basil, with your answer.
No, what I think one of the things, Alzarri Joseph, I think he needs to remember he is a out and out fast bowler, right? And 2, if he can bowl consistently those what we call the test match length, you know, that back of a length on that channel, he will be successful. He's going to give batters serious trouble. But it's when he tries to do other things, in my view, he gets in trouble. He bowls wides and all of those kind of things. I think Alzarri need to focus bowling that test match length and work off of that length rather than, you know, I was listening to Brathwaite during the South Africa series, and he made a comment, and I agreed with him. He said a lot of times guys who bowl really fast, they fall in love with trying to bowl this slower ball here and so on and so on. And he's saying the Caribbean, the type of wickets we have, if you can bowl that test match length and you're a fast bowler, you might get you're hitting the seam. You're gonna put a lot of pressure on batters. And I noted every time Alzarri would bowl at that length, the batters wouldn't score off of him.
Yes. Natural pitch variation. And the best exponent of that, Basil, is Just Azud from Australia.
Oh, exactly.
One of the times he was even the number 1 ranked T20 bowler some time ago by just bowling that test match length and developing that
I'm glad you brought him up. I think Hazelwood may very much enjoy this World Cup because he's gonna find, you might think that's something for just Australia, but he might be very, very much pleasantly surprised that when he bowls those lengths in the Caribbean, he will get great success.
Yeah, Jared, what's your view on Alzarri Joseph performance? Do you think that, as Basil said, he should really be looking to bowl fast and hitting that test match length instead of trying to bring this variety into his bowling? Because the pitch will give you variety at times. What's your thought, Jared? Yeah,
no, I fully agree with Basil. Again, we see this with Alzarri though. He's not. I don't know if it's a lack of confidence or if someone hits him for a few boundaries, all of a sudden, he covers, and you have to go for it. We've seen many bowlers before him, fast bowlers in history, still go for it. But of course, you use the pitch to your advantage, and he has that great length, that test match length. And I think he needs to just have confidence in his craft, hone his craft, and he could really put some batsmen in some serious trouble if he stays consistent with it. Yes.
Yes. All right. Coming to you first this time on this one now, Jared. Would you make any change to the playing 11 that played yesterday for the match against Uganda?
No. I think we could stay with this team. I just, what I will change, I guess, is just the approach. And they need to obviously just do more patient batting. Yes, it's 20 overs, but that does not mean we just have to whoop and slap up everything that comes. Take your time. I think we should bowl first and then chase and get another victory.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Jared. Basil, what's your view? Should we go in with the same team?
Yeah, we're going with the same team. I'm not dropping somebody after one. First thing first, we won the match, so I'm not going to drop a player first match. And I agree with what Jared is saying. I think that I remember something. Just a quick story. I was coaching a youngster, and the day we were working in the nets, I said, today we focusing on hitting the ball through the V, right? I just want you hitting the ball through the V, nothing else, just the V, right? And I saw the guys bowling some half volleys, and he just blocking it. So I said, wait. I go up to him, I said, I see you get half volleys. Why are you just blocking them? He said, Coach, you say hit the ball through the Vs. I thought through the V is defensive. I said, no, Chief. If the ball is bowled in your arc, you going with it through the V, hitting it hard, right? Now, why I say this, we got this looking at Brandon King with the way he come in and so on. Sammy has said we have a way we want to play. But yes, you want to be aggressive, you want to come at the bowling, but you have to understand the balance of tempering that aggression. And I think our batters up front have not found that balance, and hopefully they can start to refine that and find that balance in the second match against Uganda.
Thank you very much, Basil. I too will not change the team after one match. You know, what came to me that if Charles, for example, Charles, and I saw a lot of comment about Charles in the chat. If Charles failed against Papua New Guinea, which was yesterday, and you replace him after one match, and you replace him with, say, Hope. If Hope fail against Uganda, are you going to replace Hope with someone else?
Right. The other thing, just before I want to forget the thought, when you make a change just like that, it's sometimes almost from a mental perspective. What message are you sending to the team? You're already panicking. You know, you felt that this is your best 11, and after one match, you're gonna throw the baby out with the bathwater. No, you won the game, and what you're looking for, because this is a World Cup tournaments. You as a team, you're looking to continue to improve. You don't always get off with all the boxes ticked and so on from the first game. But what you want to see, your vision, you improving with each game. So I guess all three of us, I'm sure, we want to see an improvement on the performance from what we saw, because the next two games we're going to play, we're going to be playing against the two of the three best teams in our group. So it is imperative that we show improvement going into those two games.
Thank you very much. So I guess we answer Mr. 007 question. Good morning, Mr. Casanova. Lou Prudent. It's a long time I haven't seen you. I think Lou Prudent is from Guyana. I hope he had gone to the matches. 007 is making this point, Lara, that Charles in Guyana is a no-go. Man struggling in Guyana in general, and he should never play. That's an argument I've been hearing from a few days now, that Charles doesn't perform well in Guyana. I think I saw someone said yesterday that his average in Guyana is less than 5.
Okay.
Is that concern when picking a team? Lara, is that a concern when picking a team? Or are you going to back your best player?
No, you back your best players, and it's only after one game, and we got over the line. And if you analyze the game with a fine teeth comb, it was just a few margins, and I mean, chasing 136 could always be nervy, right? But we just need to tighten up our batting. I think if we see tightening, better batting, clinical batting, and smart batting, I don't think we have anything to worry about. So no, not after the first game.
Basil, what numbers are we talking about?
I don't know. I tried to figure out that was worse than Tasia, right? And Craig batting. What is he talking about? I just like to stir things up, man.
Yes, that's 007 for you. Mankan Tapalia seems to be from India. Well, Sunil Narayan is not playing international cricket anymore. He has retired from that. Yes.
Sir Carlton, there was a man they call oh gosh, I forget his name, but he went up to the mountain here in the United States when the American Revolution. Oh, Rip Van Winkle. He went up to the mountain when this country was still a colony, and when he came down the mountain, it was now United States of America. So a friend of mine used to say he slept through a revolution. That guy that just asked that question, he is like Rip Van Winkle. He slept through a revolution. The ask question is the right is not in our team.
He's slept through all of that. He didn't know what's going on. No, Larad, Mr. Casanova is saying that, and this is a big point, and I love this. I really love what Yes, Mr. Casanova, Lara, this one is for you. 2.75 runs over between 7 and 11 is disgraceful against bits and pieces cricketers. Fair to say they are bits and pieces cricketers at best.
Right.
That match showed we need Shea Hope in the team in conditions like that. What do you think, Jared?
No. Again, I won't change the team. And I agree. That's what we're saying all through. That's the theme of this episode. It was not good enough. It was not a good start. We do not want to have, heart palpitations while playing against Papua New Guinea. No disrespect to them at all. But again, it's just some patient batting. That's all we require. That's all these guys have to do. And I don't know if it was just the occasion or the team, but no, bring hope right now. No, I wouldn't change a thing. I think we keep this team just as is. And it's just for them to take their time. We know what Puran could do. We know what King could do. We know what these guys could do. It's just for them to take their time and bat out a proper innings. That's all we need for now.
Basil, I saw you definitely not agreeing with Mr. Casanova on Shea. You must agree that the 2.75 runs is some concern.
Yes. Firstly, the West Indies team, the weak point of West Indies team is batting 7 through 15. Mr. Casanova should have stretched it out to 15, not 7 to 11, right? He close it in very conveniently. Let's look at what they did from 7 through 15. They did struggle. That has been an Achilles heel in the West Indies team. Here, we can't run away from it. Our batters generally do not play good spin. Now on a wicket that was somewhat helpful to the bowlers. Again, now let me just say this. The Papua New Guinea team, they're all professional cricketers. Mm-hmm. That team has been under contract for about 5 years or close to 5 years. These guys they don't do nothing else but play cricket. Just that associates don't get the opportunity to play against the highest level of teams for obvious reasons, right? But these are guys are professional cricketers. Now, on that wicket there, giving some problems. I think one of the issues is this. Look at how Brandon King got himself out, right? And then shortly thereafter, which one out first, King or Puran? But they got out both very close to each other.
Puran out first.
Right. They got out very close to each other. Now, that's a cardinal sin. One of the things, that is one way to bring a run rate to a breaking halt. Mm-hmm. Now you got 2 new batsmen who now got to find their way on a wicket that was, it wasn't like the ball coming onto the bat beautifully and you could stroke like what we saw in Dallas, right? So you got to take that into consideration. And I blame Brandon King for that shot he played. Puran just out. You, Brandon King, know one of your roles in this team is to bat through if you get in. Don't throw away your wicket, because had he stayed in and batted as normal Brandon King, that 2.75 would have never happened.
Brandon, Basil Keith Aaron is saying that he is recognizing your father. I know you don't want to tell him thanks.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yes, Lou Prudent, we believe that, yes, you are spot on. We agree with what you are saying there, 100%. We have no issues with what you are saying there. You are spot on there, Lou Prudent, and we think that was well said. Lancel Blake, welcome to the show, man. Glad you are here. Keith Aaron, would you want to tell Keith Aaron, your fellow Trinidadian, a little about yourself loud?
Yeah, I'm Jared. So yes, Jared here from Trinidad, the west side of Trinidad, content creator. I cover, learning cricket, still teaching myself cricket, familiar with it, of course, but cricket, F1 and football on my channel. I'm a sports enthusiast. And I'm right now in Barbados, with our co-host covering this leg of the World Cup. So yeah.
Thank you. So Keith Aaron, there's your man. He's one of your fellow countrymen.
You know something, Carlton?
Right.
I have a friend who had the same name. I played cricket today. My guy named Qiana.
Okay.
It's not him though, because Keith is past.
Yes. The champion is making a very good point here, Basil. That the associate members team, they usually bowl well and field well. And one of the things that I always said is that if you want to know what a team is improving, look at their fielding. The champion is spot on, Basil.
Yes, look, I live in an associate country, right? And I remember many years ago, I saying, look, if I'm developing a team in an associate country, my first focus is fielding. Because if it's one thing we could do world class, we don't have to be the most talented that we could do, just hard work, is fielding. That's the first focus. Defense. The second is bowling, right? To develop a group of bowlers that can hit the areas consistently, the line and lengths. The batting would be the last, because in associates, we don't get to see the best bowling for batters to improve. So that would always be the last part. And as you get chances to play against really good bowling to develop your skills, yes. So you always would see associates, you see their fielding and their bowling are usually way ahead of their batting.
Yeah, you know, 007 seemed to be in fine figure this morning, and he not only does he think that the fielding was worse than a garbage dump, he think that Joseph last over was good, but it was a feeling that let him down. 007 really. Now, Gerard,
why you talking about the feeling? Why don't give Roston Chase some credit for the catch that he took? I mean, everything this man 007 just looking at the West Indies team there. Roston Chase pulled off a brilliant catch. Come on, man.
007 appears to be a pessimist, you know. Will Simmons is saying that this is a pitch that required a different approach.
Yes.
It's been a while since West Indies played in a pitch like this. They were not properly prepared. Papua New Guinea's bowling was great for this pitch.
Excellent summation.
Yes, of course. Jared, how would you respond to Wilson?
No, yeah, I fully agree. Papua New Guinea, clearly were prepared. If not prepared, the bowling, they caught it. They were the pitch agreed with their bowling well, and they got their luck. They found some luck through their bowling, and of course got some great wickets early on and took out some of our key batsmen that usually, if this the longer they stay, the more dangerous they are. So definitely worked in their favor. But again, I think the approach may not be pitch related for us. As Basil is saying throughout the episode, I think is mainly just because of the lack of patience with the batting, especially as he said with Brandon King. Brandon King should not be going after delivery like that in that manner. He should have been, at the end of the match, it should have been Brandon King lifting his bat, congratulating the fans and his team at the end of the match. That, I think, was the approach that we should have taken.
Basil, do you think that the lack of pace and the humidity in the atmosphere assisted the Papua New Guinea bowlers so much, and that lack of pace allowed the ball to dart around, and the West Indies batsmen just never struggled? Just struggled with it not coming on the bat.
Yeah, the bowlers bowling on a 2-pace wicket, and you know, you're not express pace, the ball ain't coming on to the bat. Our batters like the ball coming on to the bat, and the minute they get the 2-pace, because look, the Papua New Guinea guy that made 50, when he came in and they asked him at the halftime about the pitch, that's exactly what he said. It's a slow pitch. You got to get yourself in, and then you could really, you could then look to hit, right? That's why I was disappointed with Brandon King, because he knew what the conditions were. It's not easy to bat there. You already in, Brandon. Puran just got out. Come on. You hit the ball in the ground, man. You hit some lovely 4s. Sometimes I say to myself, Brandon King, forget about 6 and just hit 4s. You know what I mean? 4s will do you just as good instead of trying to hit 6 and hit it in somebody's hand. You know, because the guy is such a free scoring batter. He could get 3 or 4 dot balls and don't feel the pressure because he could make it up.
Yeah. Okay. 48 not out edit is saying, for me, I want Shamar to play against Uganda. I think it's just a Shamar Joseph fans.
Yes,
who would love to see Shamar play. I can't say anything else but he just wanting to see.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen, it was good being here. I really appreciate your company and I thank you all for joining me. Any final comment, Basil?
I think, as you know, people calling for changes. No, they're not going to change. I think, again, just to remind the fans, it's a World Cup, and you're looking to improve as a team. Trinidad is going to present a different challenge because, I mean, one of the things in Trinidad, which is good, playing in Guyana, the pitch is going to be similar. It's going to be of a similar variety. So they would have gotten the experience of playing, you know, on these kind of pitches so they understand how better they have to approach it. And then they had played against England and Trinidad. I know the Lara plays had been relayed. So again, that might be, maybe it might be better the ball coming on. But let the core, let's see how they do on Saturday and then move on to Trinidad against New Zealand.
Tell me something. Do any of you guys, Philip Kane, welcome Philip Kane, good to have you here. Do any of you guys have poor on record? Michael Douglas is listening to us in World Cup matches, in T20 World Cup matches. Basil or Gerard, do any of you have that record?
Puran doesn't have a good record. I could just say that off the top of my head. He doesn't have a good record in World Cup T20 matches. Because he only played one World Cup. Was in this last one when he was captain. He was I can't remember him doing anything in 2021 when we lost every game except one. I can't remember him. I can't remember if he even played. Did he play in that World Cup?
I don't remember. Basil or Gerard, do any of you know where we can get West Indies? This is something that I've picked up with
time.
I've sent them email about it.
That question was asked, and I was told the response from the person was after the World Cup.
I have sent email to the commercial director of CWI asking, and up to this day, no reply to that email. I was told. I just don't know.
I was on a program and it was asked to a CWI person about that. The person asked, "Where can I get, you know?" And he was told after the World Cup.
Well, you know, in Trinidad we have some on sale, but if they're authentic, but we have our sports.
Remember, Jared is a new kit.
Yeah,
he's got a new kit.
Yeah.
So that is the thing. You might probably get an older West Indies shirt.
Yeah.
But the current thing what they're wearing is a new company they just recently signed with. Yes.
Yes, Macron. Gerard, final comment from you, please.
Don't panic. Don't panic. Let's not run to the panic stations yet. This is a World Cup, right? Across all other sporting disciplines, this happens, right? The new kid on the block comes up against the big boy, and they have to push them all the way as best as they can. So let's not panic. We have Uganda next. Let's take it one game at a time, and rally on the West Indies. And thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you. 007 is saying, I thank you very much, 007. Although, gentlemen, I cannot always trust 007 sources, you know. No, 007 is one of our biggest supporters. He's always here with us. We have some wonderful banter, you know, good company. 007, great company, man. We love him. But we cannot always trust his sources. But he's saying that Puran has 350 in T20 World Cup, but only averaging 23. Thank you very much.
What the average part? In T20 cricket, we don't weigh average so high.
Yes.
Strike rate and runs.
Correct.
Yes. Okay. Cyril Roberts is saying that should CWI give away tickets to get fans out when associate teams are playing? I think it's an ICC decision. So let's see what will happen, and let's see as we go forward if the World Cup will pick up. Those nations that did not bid for the World Cup, they are looking on too, because they want to say we were right. So I hope we come out and full the stands and don't give them up that opportunity to say that Carlton, we were right. Yes.
I'm going to send you an article. People were all over social media, and you have some of the Indians criticizing, we had the World Cup there in 2007 and it was a failure. And look again. So it already starts.
Yes. Yes. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Gerard, for being here. Thank you again, Basil. You're as great as usual. And I look forward to seeing you in the future. Please take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones, and have a wonderful day. Bye for now.
So